Let's go, Nikki! Let's go, Nikki! I take something that has been really had a lot of potential and it was unfortunately subpar, and I tell you how I would change it because, let's face it, I'm an effing genius. No ding required. So this week we're going to be talking about the Divas Revolution. What happens when you got a cluster of women who all try to vie for one thing? That's for domination, for tag team bragging rights, for the Divas Championship, for I don't know anymore. So basically, it was just one of those things where it had a lot of potential. It could have gone so far, but the problem was that they just did not have a clear goal as to what they wanted to do with it. Now, I've actually done something like this. If you take a chance to look at my previous deal where I talked about my explanation as to why I was very vocal about the Bella Twins and how I did not like how they ran things, it's on the Bella Explanation episode that you can check out anytime that you want. I also did a bit of a future, I'm trying to call it future booking as to how the Divas Revolution should have ended at WrestleMania 32. So what I'm going to be doing is going to be very complex, but bear with me. It's going to go all the way from SummerSlam 2014 all the way to WrestleMania 32. Guys, get ready, buckle in. It is going to be a very fun trip. So let's begin at SummerSlam 2014. Wouldn't change a thing. The matchup between Brie and Stephanie, great matchup as it was, and the heel turn that Nikki did, amazing. I think that the build-up there was great. It was just they didn't know what to do from there. So they had Nikki say that she wished that, Brie died in the womb, and that was just very, very uncomfortable for me, to say the least. I'm sure a lot of people felt the same way. So what I would have actually on the build-up to the Brie Bella versus Nikki match at Hell in a Cell is have them still have a little bit of that heat going towards Nikki, but have it more being her trying to get under Brie's skin, saying that, you were always the, least favorite sister, you were always the dumb one, you were always the less pretty one, and, all that kind of deal. But Brie still kind of could find a way to forgive Nikki until about a week before Hell in a Cell, before their matchup, Nikki says the line, I guess it goes to show that you're just as weak as your husband. And that is what catches Brie's attention. And Nikki goes on saying that, everybody knows that my man is indeed the face of the company and how he is so much better than everybody else and how, he is stronger, he is better, and he is definitely more of a man than your husband ever will be. And that is where Brie snaps. That is where you take it to the next personal level. And of course, this gives Nikki major, massive heat because honestly, you really do need a big-time, full-on heel diva. Since Stephanie McMahon's not always going to be around, why not put it on Nikki? She's already got the spark. Here's where you ignite the flame. So we go on to the Hell in a Cell matchup. Wouldn't change anything about that. Nikki and Brie put on one heck of a matchup, which they did. And then we see Nikki, of course, gain the services of Brie for 30 days. And of course, just don't overdo the segments on there. Have her, have Brie basically doing Nikki's laundry, have her clean her car, have her do all these humiliating things, and even have Brie help Nikki win the number one contendership for the Divas Championship at Survivor Series, which obviously happened. Well, not necessarily happened in that way, but it made more sense than to have, Brie dressed up like a goat, like, Daniel Bryan, and have her just wandering around. Have her actually be a part of the matchup. Now, the match itself between AJ and Nikki, again, wouldn't change a thing. I think that the kiss that Brie planted on AJ was shocking. It was unexpected. It was honestly one of the best things that they could have done. And honestly, It works out perfectly. But I think that the reason why Brie changed it up is because that she did it to help Nikki and to help her gain publicity. This whole thing was a publicity stunt, you know. She didn't want to take any disrespect from her husband. She didn't want to make it seem like she didn't care. She does love her husband, but at the same time, she makes the line, you know, hey, I'm just doing what's best for business. And now you have two main heels in the Bella twins. You don't have them as faces, you have them as heels. And they still pull themselves, they're just thinking to themselves, oh, we are role models for the next generation of divas, and they need to look like us, they need to be like us. And that is where, again, you're getting under the fans really badly, and you're going to say, oh, you need somebody to take that Divas Championship off of her. So you have the rematch at TLC between Nikki and AJ, which unfortunately AJ loses. Sorry, AJ. And that is going to be the final matchup between AJ and Nikki. That's AJ's final matchup. She's gone. She's retired. We're just going to pretend that that's her last matchup. It is one of the best matches that she and Nikki have. Going into Royal Rumble, they actually have a tournament to determine who faces Nikki Bella at the Royal Rumble, in which Natalya wins. So Natalya and Nikki are facing off at the Royal Rumble, but also during this time, you have a little bit of a start. And that start begins with the one and only Paige. Paige starts talking about wanting to start a revolution against the Bella Army, against the Bella Twins, in which she wants to make sure that they do not have all this power, that they don't have all of this control. She wants to make sure that they are taken down a notch and they are learned a lesson. So she is in the corner of Natty, Brie's in the corner of Nikki. Unfortunately, Natty comes short and loses to Nikki Bella. And at Fastlane, we get to see Paige versus Nikki. Paige actually starts getting in their heads because she starts getting pinfall victories over Brie, and she actually gets a tag team victory over Nikki Bella. And that actually sparks the, number one contendership deal where she gets the opportunity. So the matchup happens, Paige versus Nikki Bella. Unfortunately, due to distractions by Brie Bella, Nikki retains. So obviously now Paige is realizing, I can't do this by myself. I need help. I need somebody to have my back and who I will have their back. She recruits Natalya. So they actually make the matchup. It is going to be the Bella Twins versus Natalya and Paige at WrestleMania. However, the Bella Twins actually attack Natalya before WrestleMania, and she is basically injured for that matchup. So now Paige is thinking, am I going at this alone? I guess it is what it is. And she tries to fight off, the Bella Twins. She tries to make sure that, she's not going to be intimidated. She's not going to be that next victim for them. But the Bella Twins still are unable. They are able to get that numbers advantage and continue their seemingly dominance. So WrestleMania comes around. We see the Bella Twins against Paige, and she's thinking, it's me against them. There's nothing much I can do. And then we hear, whoa, whoa. Sorry. We hear Becky Lynch's music hits. She comes up to the main roster. This is her basic call up to the main roster. She comes out, and she's going to be Paige's partner for this tag team matchup. And in the end, Becky Lynch and Paige get the victory, locking in dual submission maneuvers on Brie and on Nikki. Both of them tap out, and we see the Divas Revolution begin that night. So we then go on to the UK Raw, in which we see a battle royal to determine who will fight off for the Divas Championship at Extreme Rules. And that is unfortunately won by Naomi. And the reason why, because Brie Bella and the now recruited Alicia Fox had eliminated Becky Lynch and Paige from the matchup. And also, they actually attack Paige and seemingly take her out. And this also writes her off of TV so she can work on her TV shows or movie deals, something like that, And you kind of do something a little bit different with that, of course. So you have Becky Lynch go one-on-one against Brie at the pay-per-view in what is going to be a submission matchup. And Becky Lynch wins. And this, of course, is going to be building her up so that she can eventually challenge for the title in the near future. But just going to have to wait and see how that worked out. So we also see Naomi versus Nikki Bella. And this is actually a very close matchup, but Nikki Bella uses a handful of tights and beats Naomi 1-2-3 in the matchup. So we actually get set up now for Payback, and it's set up to be a 6 Divas tag team match. I know, a lot of people don't like the tag team matches at pay-per-views. They should be more for the Divas Championship. But you can't always have the consistent, over and over and over and over again, because otherwise it's going to be, it's not going to work out too much. So that's why I'm changing things up just a little bit. So at Payback, we get to see the Bella Army, which is basically Nikki, Brie, and Alicia Fox going up against Naomi, Becky Lynch, and the recruited Tamina. Now, it'll be very interesting to see how that works out. So, you want to see how it works out? Here's how I have it. The 6 Divas tag match works out very well, and in the end, it seems like Naomi's going to get the big win on Nikki Bella when all of a sudden, boom, super kick by Tamina, knocking out Naomi, and Nikki Bella 1, 2, 3 gets the pinfall on Naomi. And actually, Tamina gets recruited by the Bella Army as like an enforcer. She's basically this bodyguard for the Bella Army. And now there's more strength in numbers. And after a couple weeks, it seems like Becky Lynch and Naomi are going to be taken to the brink. But Paige makes her triumphant return, and she vows again to do what she set out to do, and that was to beat Nikki Bella, take the Divas Championship from her, and rid the world of the name Diva, because we are, and she even says, like, we are women's of wrestling, and we are not going to be taken lightly anymore. So Paige goes on to win a number 1 contenders tournament, which is ending up with between her and the now newly recreated Tamina. So this matchup, seemingly Tamina's just about to win. She's about to hit the splash off the top rope, and Paige gets out of the way. She hits the Rampage 1, 2, 3 and gets the victory, and she is going on to Money in the Bank. So we go to Money in the Bank, and this is where things get really interesting. You definitely don't want to miss out on this. What basically happens is that Paige has got Becky Lynch and Naomi in her corner, and Nikki, of course, is going to have Tamina, Alicia Fox, and Brie Bella in her corner. The matchup goes off like crazy. We see the outside people fighting off against each other. Paige is setting up for the Rampage on Nikki Bella, but Nikki pushes Paige into the referee. And we see Nikki trying to go for the rack attack. Paige hits the Rampage, and she goes to the cover, hooks the leg. Referee's still knocked out. She goes to try to revive the referee when we see a masked assailant come in and clonk Paige in the back with a nightstick. And this allows Nikki to hit the rack attack on Paige. Cover, referee comes to 1, 2, 3. The question is, who is this masked assailant, and why is this person attacking Paige? That is something that we are going to cover in just a little bit, you guys. I'm going to take a short, small break, and when I come back, I'm going to finish the Divas Revolution storyline, as well as going on just to tell you guys when we see Charlotte make her call up very soon, and so much more. Trust me, you guys, you definitely do not want to miss out on this. So stay tuned. I will be right back.
Shade, nah, it's not quite. Hustling every day, I'm on my way to that shop like